Third part is very interesting. It's about inscriptions from the Quran and prayers and attributes of God.
Yeah.
Guys, many of you have a card, and many of people have this high quality Safavid period cards. Not all the time, most of them have this gilded part, sometimes chiseled part, sometimes gold inlaid part. And they all say, oh yeah, okay, there are some inscriptions from the Quran. There are not some inscriptions from the Quran. Each one of them has a meaning. And this one is فَمَا تَوْفِيقِ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. My apologies for Arabic-speaking people here, especially Hussein and his team. Guys, my Arabic is very bad. I know my pronunciation is not good, but because I don't speak Arabic.
Oh, Ustad, your pronunciation is good, Ustad. It's
not really. This, I know my limitations. Look, I speak English, I speak Spanish, I speak Persian, I speak French, I speak German, but I don't speak Arabic. I just can't read it, right? So it says, وَمَا تَوْفِيقِ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ, and my success is only through God, or I can only succeed with Allah's help. It's a profound declaration of reliance on God, tawakkul, an acknowledgement that all achievements, guidance, and ability to do good come from His will alone. وَمَا تَوْفِيقِ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ.
Magnificent.
So significant what it means. This is from the Holy Quran, Quranic foundation. The phrase reflects the Quranic principle that all success, tawfiq, is divinely granted. For example, Surah Hud 1188. My success is only through Allah. In Him I trust, and to Him I turn. So he fled from there, fearful and on guard. He said, my Lord, save me from the wrongdoers. Moses relies on God. So why do we do that? وَمَا تَوْفِيقِ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. It prevents arrogance by reminding believers that even their efforts, intelligence, and opportunities are made possible by God alone. It's a dua for divine help, often recited before tasks, study, work, decisions to seek God's help in achieving righteousness. It's tawakkul, faith in action. It combines human effort with divine reliance, core Islamic balance, when to say it. Before beginning any task, for example, exams, projects, and travel, after prayers or in supplications in dua, and when faced with difficulties to reaffirm confidence in God's plan, which is the case here, and that's why we have it on a weapon.
No, exactly, so, yeah.
Illa billah.
Yeah.
So guys, now you know what it means. Maybe, when in my lexicon, I explain these things. Now, but lexicon, over 5,000 words and entries, maybe you missed that. But now his video maybe is better. When you have such a card, which you see that, وَمَا تَوْفِيقِ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ, why is it there? Feel it, guys.
No, you're completely right, Assad. And also just one more point, which people often forget, is that when warriors went to the battlefield, it was a dance between life and death, where any moment could really be the last. You were playing on time, really. And that's as a result why warriors were always so superstitious, always so religious, because they knew any moment could be their last. And that's why all of these sacred inscriptions, whether they're to God, all these sacred inscriptions with Ali, Hussein, and all these other sacred figures in Islam, they're really a plea to God. They're really a plea to the divine. And it's one of the, you even see it in Japanese and Katori Shinto-ryo. Sensei Atake, he was an extremely religious and devout man, and He believed a lot in the philosophy behind it. And I think this is something which is shared between warriors from different cultures.
Yes.
Even if you look at the European world, the warriors there were religious. So it's just something, it's a fascinating thing which I always see.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So then we go, normally when it's on this side, on this other side, okay, here, illa billah, this is on a pishkhabs. You see that? The same thing here. It could be on the obverse side, left or right side, reverse side, but this is written on a pishkhabs, the same thing here. You see that? Now, the other side is the other part. Normally, this one, وَمَا تَوْفِيقِي إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ, comes from here. And then on this other side, this one follows, this verse. وَمَا النَّصْرُ اللَّهِ مِنْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ, which is from Surah Al-Anfal, Spoils of War. It's, number 10, ayat 10, verse 10. وَمَا النَّصْرُ اللَّهِ مِنْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ, for victory comes from God alone. So this one is combined with that one. The phrase "Wama an Nasrullahi min indallah," and victory comes only from God, has deep spiritual and theological significance in Islam. So Quranic foundation phrase appears in several Quranic verses, right? I put them here for you to look at that. Relying on God, tawakkul, it teaches Muslims to rely on God rather than material means alone, even when taking practical steps. It shows you as a Muslim humility and anti-arrogance, a reminder that no victory is achieved by oneself. Arrogance of success is discouraged. Even with human effort, the ultimate power lies with God. Comfort in difficulties, that's important. For those who face difficulties, it's a reassurance that God, in his wisdom, grants victory, whether in this life or in the one hereafter. For example, the patience of the oppressed, spiritual versus worldly victory. Victory is not only worldly success, winning wars, but also triumph over sin, trials, and the day of judgment. Muslims recite this in struggles, personal or communal, to stay grounded in the faith. It's a call to combine effort with trust in God, avoiding despair or overconfidence. Fama an-nasrullah illa min indillah. What do you think about that? And victory comes only from God.
It's beautiful, and the way you explained it, Assad, it gives everybody a clear understanding of what it means. It's not just a phrase it's not just a random phrase from the Quran. Everything they have has a particular purpose. When they include these, as we'll probably touch upon later, Assad, when they include these specific numbers,
yes,
when they include these specific talismans, they're always for a particular reason.
If you take a look at that, these gilded inscriptions on this, you see that, on this card, these are chiseled floral design. Same here, chiseled floral design. Same here, chiseled floral design. We will continue and I'll show you something. Sometimes you have double. Okay, you see that this pishkhabs has also the same here. So pishkhabs had the same poem, the same inscriptions from the Quran here, and then the other side here. But now, some cards, Safavid period card, not only have this dua, you see that here, from Quran, they have other parts chiseled from the Quran. They have gilded inscriptions from Quran. They have chiseled inscriptions from the Quran. Now, what do these chiseled inscriptions on Safavid cards say? We're going to see that. Normally, they are chiseled inscriptions on the obverse side of, in this case, I show it to you, says, is verses 1 to 3 from the Surah Al-Nasr. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Iza ja'a nasrullahi wal fath. فَسَبَّحَ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهِ إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. So it says, in the name of God, ever compassionate, ever merciful. And then it goes and says, when the help of God arrives and victory, and you see man enter God's discipline horde on horde, then glorify your Lord and seek his forgiveness. Verily, he is relenting. Beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful meaning.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And then on the other side is combined with these. Sometimes sides change, but those gilded are those ones I explained. Then normally these larger inscriptions are from this. Not these larger inscriptions you don't see in all, but then this one says, this one is, the other one is also from An-Nas. Okay, this is again from the Nas, exactly. But we can see, we saw that here. One thing I need to mention, all these pieces you see here, I'm reading this, They're not published in my lexicon. In lexicon, I explain these ayat al-Quran. I have all these explanations in my lexicon, but these pieces are not published yet. They're from Dr. von Walkowski's collection. They will be published in my book, which will be published soon in 2 months. So you will see all these pieces in my new book.
Oh, amazing. I'm looking really, really forward to that. So that's going to be excellent.
So this is this one, Nasr al-Wafat. So context and revelation of this surah, what are they? This is it was revelation and the last days of the Prophet Muhammad. This is one of the last complete surahs revealed to him shortly before his passing in 632. It predicts the conquest of Mecca in 630 and the subsequent mass adoption of Islam throughout Arabia. It's a sign of completion. The surah signaled that Prophet's mission was nearing its end. Ibn Abbas reported that when the surah was revealed, the Prophet took it as a sign of his imminent death and increased his worship. And key themes and lessons: divine victory comes from Allah. Victory, Nasr, and conquest, Fat, are gifts from Allah, not human achievements. That's the message here. Gratitude and humility in success instead of pride. Based on, so Muslims are commanded to tasbih, glorify God. Fasabihu hamdi rabbika, seek forgiveness, istighfar. And then this teaches that even in triumph, believers must remain humble and repentant. God's mercy and acceptance of repentance. The surah ends by affirming God's attribute as a-tawwab, the acceptor of repentance. Why inscribed on artifacts? Symbol of divine triumph, often inscribed on artifacts and monuments, mosques, triumph arcs, and to commemorate God's help. Reminder of humility, a call for leaders and conquerors to attribute success to God, not themselves. Spiritual protection. Some believe it brings blessings when engraved. So this is this one. Sorry for all these things. The next one, you see that? This, you see that. Nasru min Allahu wa fathun gharib. I'm sure you've seen that from Surah Al-Saf, formations. Part of this surah is used on most Persian arms and armor. Nasru min Allahi wa fathun gharib, help from God and early victory.
Amazing.
This one, this is from the Pishkhabs, you see that?
Oh, so intricate. Wow.
Do you know what it is? This is like a pot with flowers inside.
Flowers, yeah.
Yeah. You see that?
Yeah.
How beautiful. It's like a jar. And then Nasru min Allahi wa fathun gharib. And this is the flowers of paradise.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, that's what it means. Going to paradise, Usman.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I just want our leaders, our viewers to understand the deep meaning of these things, especially collectors who have, collectors are not like me. I'm a researcher. I depend on museums. I depend on collectors, very, gentlemen like Mr. Al-Qarashi to provide me with more pieces to analyze. But I would really want to plead to the Western collectors to spend more time on that, to understand the deep philosophical and religious meanings of what they collect. So Nasru min Allahi wa fathun gharib is a powerful Quranic inscription often found on Iranian weapons and armor. It comes from the Surah Al-Saf, 61:13, where God promises divine help and imminent triumph to the believers. So what is the interpretation? It's help from God, and a near victory, a promise of divine support and success in battle, symbolic function, talismanic power, believed to invoke divine intervention on the battlefield, moral assurance, strengthens the warrior's resolve by affirming belief in predestined victory. What is the legitimacy? Used by rulers to portray military campaigns as divinely sanctioned. For example, Safavid rhetoric. Historical use appears on swords, shields, armor, and helmets. Nasru min Allah wa fathun gharib is everywhere. I think it's the mostly used verse from the Quran on Persian arms and armor.
Oh, you're exactly right, Asad. I mean, one thing I've realized is there's certain verses which come up again and again and again. I think there was like, particular emphasis on certain verses.
Yes, that's also very, very important to take into consideration, And look at this here. Now it's extended. Part of it is in the surah formation. Nasru min Allahi wa fathun gharib wa bashir al-mu'minin. help from God and early victory. So give good tidings to those who believe. It is the 13th verse of the Surah Formations. Look at this here. It's on the Persian Pishkhabs, gold inlaid. Nasru min Allahi wa fatun gharib wa bashir al-mu'minin. Beautiful, huh?
Oh, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, Sad.
Beautiful. Heart, breathtaking, honestly. And look at this. The back of Pishkhabs, just in the beginning of the 40, Nasru min Allahi wa fatun gharib wa bashir al-mu'minin. Chiseled on a Persian. You see that? Look at the, guys, these are real things, not
Exactly.
some, reproduction things, people get and try to explain historical things, right?
No, honestly, so when you see pieces like this, it makes the reproductions feel worthless.
They're worthless, again, it says help from God and early victory. That part we had it before, but then from this verse it goes, so give good tidings to those who believe. Now look at this, Usman Jan. This one I really love. I really love. This is on a tank band, chiseled. The Surah Al-Ikhlas, which we have in namaz, in everyday praying as Muslims, in 4 different cartouches. They're chiseled. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. The name of God, most benevolent, ever merciful. Say, He is God, the one, the most unique. God, the eminently indispensable. He has begotten no one, and He is begotten of none. There is no one comparable to Him. Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Yeah.
Amazing. And it's considered one of the most powerful surahs in the Quran.
Yes.
So it's just
look at this. Look at the pattern crucible steel.
Wow.
So you see, you can see it here more, but here you can see Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim starts here. You see that? It starts here and then it goes down. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Qul huwa Allahu ahad, and then it goes here, down there.
Amazing.
So why do we use them? It's protective power, believed to offer protection due to its concise summary of God's nature. Spiritual armor. It serves as spiritual armor, denies all rivals to God's power, serving as a metaphysical shield for Iranian warriors, often paired with Surah Al-Falaq and Surah Al-Nas for combined spiritual defense, especially on armor. We will see it later. You see that? Now look at this again here on both sides of the blade. You see? Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. You see? Beautiful, huh?
Amazing.
Look at the handwriting. I cannot even believe my eyes. The beauty of handwriting. It's unbelievable.
It's so intricate. Absolutely. I mean, the level of mastery they achieved, because to do handwriting like that on such a difficult material to manipulate is very, very difficult. And the handwriting is absolutely beautiful.
Here now, we move to the next part. So we had surah from Quran, verses from different surahs from Quran. Now we move to the next one, related attributes of God. We know that there are 99 attributes or names of God in Islam, 99, but we have more. At least 99 are also mentioned in the Quran, but we have more. And look at this here, Ya Hannan, here, Ya Hannan, then Ya Mannan, Ya Dayyan, Ya Burhan, Ya Rizwan. This is on a Ishqab's lower.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
It's really beautiful. There was a guy who said, "Oh, I'm going not to throw everything out, my reproductions after seeing that." Right?
No, it's the thing, Hassan. Whenever I do these videos with you, I feel my collection feels worse and worse.
He said, "What the hell am I training with?" Right?
Yeah.
And now it's on a card. Ya Hannan, Ya Mannan, Ya Dayyan. Here we have Ya Qazi al-Hajat, Ya Subhan. So let me just go back what it means. Ya Hannan, oh the compassionate, oh the gracious. Ya Mannan, or the bounteous, or the benevolent, Ya Dayan, or the influential, Ya Borhan, or the proof, Ya Rizvan, or the satisfier. And when we come here again, Mannan and Dayan, we said it, we talked about them. Then we come here, Ya Ghazi al Hajat, right? And so it means all the fulfiller of wishes, and Ya Subhan, all the glorious. It's on the back of a pishkhabs. Now we come here. What does Ya Subhan means? The glorious one, most holy, is a powerful Islamic invocation that appears on Iranian arms and armor. It carries deep theological, martial, and mystical significance in Persian history. So it's glorification from the tasbih, glorification, often used in phrase Subhanallah, glory be to God. In Persian folk Islam, Subhan was seen as a ward against dark magic, sihr, and the evil eye, nazar. Some believe that chanting Ya Subhan before battle would nullify enemy spells.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. When you hear the details like that, it's unbelievable. And look, warriors of the past believed this. They really did. They believed in this. And the thing is, when you're on the battlefield, when you're dancing with death, every advantage mattered. If the enemy was casting spells on you, you had to repel it in one way or another. And this was the way they repelled it.
Yes. Now we go back, Ya Ghazi al Hajat. This from Hussein John's.
Oh, amazing.
Is that
Look at the beauty of that blade.
Yeah, unbelievable. Right?
Unbelievable.
Oh, the fulfiller of needs or judge of desires, fulfiller of wishes, is a powerful invocation frequently inscribed on Persian Iranian arms and armor, talismanic objects. Its presence on weapons and military regalia carries deep spiritual, cultural, and martial significance in our history. What does it mean? Ya Ghazi al Hajat, another blade from Esther al-Gharashi's collection. The phrase is a direct appeal to the divine, recognizing Allah as the ultimate fulfiller of human needs. Reference to Imam Ali as well. In Shia Islam, dominant in Iran, this phrase is often associated with Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, who is revered as a spiritual and martial protector. Some traditions hold that invoking Ya Ghazi al Hajat calls upon his intercession, especially in warfare. Another sword from Mr. al-Gharashi, Ya Ghazi Bidah, Ya Ghazi al-Hajat. Yes, all these swords, right? So divine protection in battle, Persian warriors, especially Qizilbash, Safavid, and Qajar soldiers, not only actually, but okay, believe that bearing God's name on the swords, shields, or guns would grant them spiritual armor against harm. It served as a prayer for victory. Reminder of justice. Qazi means judge or arbiter. Warriors saw themselves as instruments of divine justice. So talismanic power, many Persian arms doubled as protective amulets. The phrase was believed to weaken enemies, to ensure accuracy, and to shield the bearer from betrayals or cowardice. That's the talismanic power.
Oh, it's amazing. Amazing. And it's like we say outside time and time again, each one has this particular function. Each one has this particular use. For example, in archery.
You need to know when is something written. Why is it written there?
Yeah.
So we go to Ya Hannan. Ya Hannan, what does it mean? Oh, the compassionate. It emphasizes God's boundless mercy, even in warfare. Used to seek divine forgiveness and solace amid battle's chaos. You see that? Ya Hannan, name of God and two different objects. Again, Ya Hannan, Ya Hannan, Ya Hannan. You see, on different weapons. Ya Mannan, or the bounteous, or the benevolent. It acknowledges God as the source of strength and victory, reflects gratitude for divine support in conquests. Ya Ghaffar, or the forgiver, divine attribute, one of God's name that emphasizes the forgiveness of sins, even those committed in battle. Context in warfare, warriors invoked his name to seek purification from the moral burden of battle, protection from dying in a state of sin. Talismanic function, believed to cover the warrior's transgressions, often paired with Ya Tawwab, or the acceptor of repentance on shields or armor linings. Psychological comfort addresses the ethical dilemma of violence by assuring divine mercy.
Oh, it's amazing. I think that's what Genghis Khan would have needed when he was committing those atrocities. He needed to say that, and God would forgive him.
Yeah, exactly. He needed lots of that. Then we have Ya Dayan, or the supreme judge, the avenger and all-compelling, the influential. Emphasizes God's absolute authority as the ultimate arbiter of justice, implies both divine retribution against enemies and equitable judgment for the warrior's own deeds. Context in warfare invoked to legitimize battle as divinely sanctioned justice, qisas, served as a reminder that victory or defeat was a decree from the true judge. Then we go here. The reverse of the bolster has a gilded inscription in negative format here that reads Ya Borhan, O the proof. Below we have Ya Sultan, O the ruler, engraved. Ya Borhan, O the irrefutable proof, the clear evidence, divine attributes, represents God as the ultimate truth beyond doubt or dispute. In Islamic theology, Borhan or Burhan is associated with rational proofs of God's existence. For example, cosmological arguments in Kalam. Context in warfare invoked to affirm the righteousness of battle, served as a spiritual counter to enemy propaganda or doubts among troops. Symbols of divine truth engraved on blades or spearheads, declaring the warrior's cause to be manifestly just, often paired with Quranic verses such as, and say, truth has come and falsehood has vanished. Talismanic power believed to dispel deception. Enemy illusions of cowardice in the ranks, common on Shia weapons alongside Ya Ali. Right. Then we have Ya Sultan, or the absolute ruler, sovereign authority, emphasizes God's ultimate kingship over all creation, earthly rulers, and the rules of war. In Sufi thought, associated with the concept of velayat, divine guardianship, like Bande Shah Velayat Abbas, right? Context in warfare invoked to legitimize the ruler's military campaigns as an extension of divine will, served as a reminder that victory comes only through God's decree, not mere human strength, paired with Quranic verses such as, to God belongs the dominion of heavens and the earth. Talismanic power, believed to ensure unchallenged dominance in battle and government, common on Shiite arms alongside Ya Ali again, Ya Sultan. You see that here? Ya Rizwan, Ya Subhan. That's what we have. Ya Rizwan,
amazing. Yeah.
O the satisfier, and Ya Subhan, O the glorious.
Yeah, Subhan.
Ya Rizwan is an invocation that calls upon Ar-Rizwan, one of the most beautiful names of God in Islam. It relates to satisfaction, approval, and divine pleasure, meaning Ar-Rizwan refers to God's infinite pleasure, acceptance, and favor upon his righteous servants. It is often associated with paradise. Some scholars consider Rizwan as the name of angel who guards paradise.
Fascinating.
Then the lower tank band has the following chiseled attributes of God placed in two separate cartouches: Ya Ghaffar, O the forgiver, and Ya Sultan, O the ruler. We talked about Ya Sultan. So the Sultan, again, more information. God as the true sovereign. He is Allah, besides whom there is no God, the sovereign Al-Malik, the pure, the perfection. Sultan as divine authority. The term appears in Quran referring to Allah's proof, command, and dominion. In Islamic tradition, some scholars use as Sultan poetically in supplications to affirm God's control over all affairs. Seeking justice for protection from oppression, in times of weakness, asking for divine empowerment against tyrants or injustice, affirming Allah's ultimate authority. Okay, Usman Jan, we are not done with the names of God. We go through it.